Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Love Morning. I am John Halcyon-Stin. This is a daily practice of sharing gratitude, of connecting with fellow open-minded, open-hearted, bright spirits like you, and setting the sails of our day in a direction that helps us to be the people that we want to be. Not necessarily what we're going to do, but who do we want to be? So that as we do whatever it is that we do, as we have opportunities that arise for us, we can react in ways that is in line with who we want to be and not get stuck in a reactive pattern that may not be what best serves us. And generally, I start these broadcasts with a song that I make up immediately. No concept of the lyrics or the melody as I start. So as we start this day together in the morning, I hope you're not asleep, I hope you're not snoring, 'cause today we're getting together and sharing gratitude. When we're all together, it lifts the attitude. Oh, love morning, yeah, oh, love morning, yeah. Oh, love morning, yeah, love morning, yeah. Oh, love morning, yeah, love morning, yeah. Come to love morning, yeah, and share your heart. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Love Morning. This is a chance to share something that you're grateful for, and in doing so, magnify, multiply the joy it brings. Let it bring us joy as you share something that is happening or has happened or will happen in your world that is part of what is making you a little bit happier. Not that there's anything wrong with being unhappy, not that there's anything wrong with the things in your life that are struggles, but without a practice of focusing and calling forth and remembering the things that are good, we tend to slip into an overemphasis, an overfocus on the things that drag us down, that give us a narrative of life sucking and people sucking and ourselves sucking and the planet sucking and the future sucking. But that is but one of our perspectives that we could ingest. So let's fill our soul's belly with the morsels that nourish us and make us feel good, because it is a banquet, a limitless field of things to place our focus on. So let's, at least in this moment, let go of all the need tos, got tos, should tos, and just gaze upon what is rad. Mingle is here. Good morning. Mingle says, I am grateful I made it to Love Morning Live. Woohoo! I am grateful to share this moment with you and this planet with you. You are amazing. I love you. I'm grateful for a bevy of things that happened yesterday. I had a beautiful day yesterday. Let's see, the end of the day, we had a dinner here that I invited Betsy and Yanis, my co-hosts, for my podcast, Stay Sparked. So we recorded an episode in the morning yesterday about technology and good and not so good uses of these mediums, it was a really fun conversation. I highly recommend you check it out. I spoke about this, what's happening in this moment that you are a part of, as one of the examples of ways that technology can be a beautiful tool. And we also talked about ways that it also can be a distraction. It can be a crutch. It can be one of the things that keeps us from living our best lives, from connecting to others, from facing the things that we need to face. But so start of the day, so grateful to have the opportunity to once a week have these incredible recording times with these people I love and respect. And then that night, they came over for dinner for the first time. And Yanis had met Lisa many years ago, like 8 years ago, but Betsy hadn't. So got to all get together and break bread and had a beautiful meal that Lisa prepared and just talked. And so it was such a beautiful gathering. And right when I got here, it was still light out a little bit. So we did a photo shoot of the three, stars of our podcast that we can use in social media. And that was great. And then to just end the day with gratitude and connection with Lisa, I just had just a beautiful day. So grateful for so many little bits and pieces of yesterday. Christopher is grateful to be on the couch chilling with my cat before heading out to deal with a hectic St. Patty's Day weekend, which is another amateur night in Chicago. I can imagine that being a little fun and, I don't know, maybe an intensity vibe that would not always be my favorite. Oops. Good morning, Joyous. Joyous is grateful to be tuning in from work and grateful for resources and building a foundation. Wonderful, Joyous. And good morning, Gerbot. Gerbot is grateful to spend time with my dad today, going to the Travis Air Force Base Air Show. Nice. And good morning, Mark. Happy Saturday. I am grateful for the things ahead on this Saturday. I've got this Love Morning with You, this moment. I've got gonna have lunch with my cousin's graduated from college kid who's awesome. She is brilliant and amazing. And so I can't wait to see her and some other family. We're all going to get together for lunch. And then another friend is having a little birthday party in the afternoon. So grateful for a day ahead of some socializing and connecting. And in my Love Ambassador reminders, I want to be one who is a good listener today, who is complimentary, who is lifting others up. I'm going to be aware of my tendency to storytell and center myself. And I'm going to share when appropriate, but really focus on being a listener today and a supporter, a lifter up of others. I am grateful for my progress on car purchasing. It's a real growth process for me because it's an edge, and I've had to like psych myself up for things and to go into the showroom. And I'm not getting a new car; I'm getting a new, to me, used car. But I actually this morning I went on CarMax and saw a car and said, "Ship that to my local place. I want to drive it." So I reserved a car that's not local. They're going to ship it to my nearby place so I can test drive it. That's a big step for me. Thank you, Gerbot. And Randy says, thanks for the advice of being a listener. Good morning, Randy. Yeah, I think that there's a deep part of me that was reinforced and learned that I have value when I'm entertaining. And I like feeling like I've lifted people up and made them laugh and told insightful stories, and there's nothing wrong with that. That is a beautiful, I love that about myself. But I also know that it can be a barrier to deeper connection, because sometimes I can slip into like a performance-y kind of place. And that's not equally two-sided. I'm asking others to receive my energy and words and thoughts, and I'm not in as receptive a place. And yes, it feels good to leave people with a zing in their step after I've jolted them with some entertaining story or insight or personal sharing. But I also think that there is a deeper growth gift of having someone really feel heard and seen. And so I try to work on that. I really like the daily gratitude circles, if you've ever been, is one of my helpful practices of that, of trying to practice listening, practice being present to what everyone has got to share, and recognizing that everyone's vantage point is a gift. Every vantage point is a magnification of our singular experience of a human life. And that doesn't mean that vantage point needs to be entertaining, as long as it's truthful. And I should say, I guess that in that being a good listener, I want to be a good listener and foster and create containers where I make people feel safe, so that what they are sharing is worth listening to. I don't want to be a good listener just because somebody is speaking their script about their favorite sports team, or regurgitating some beliefs about that gosh darn political person. But I do want to be creating a space and asking the questions of what is alive for someone, what is inspiring them, what is the struggle that is giving their life richness. So that is my intention for life, but I will anchor it to my intention for this day. And I encourage everyone to step into that. And now that being said, I should say, I think each of us probably knows ourselves. Do we fall into someone that tends to be one who shares a lot, or are we tend to be one who is softer in our voice and less likely to speak up in a busy conversation or a crowded room? And so if you are someone who doesn't speak up as much, then maybe your intention for the day would be to speak with a little bit more volume. Speak, offer my voice, stretch into a space that is less comfortable in sharing. Lisa does a beautiful guidance when she's bringing people through circles of integration and sharing in groups, when people break out into, actually no, well, just in any time we're in group settings, she gives this direction, which I won't say it as well as she does, but it's kind of like, if you are someone who often speaks up and shares a lot, try to do that less. If you're someone who rarely speaks up, try to do that more. I'm one of the ones that usually speaks up more. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Saturday, everyone. Anyone else have anything that they are grateful for or looking forward to this weekend? Gerbot says, interesting how sometimes less is more. Yes. Yeah, that is, the idea of holding space is a word that is often used a lot. But that's one of those places where less is more. In my experience, continues to be that there are situations where advice is desired and helpful. And there's times when words of solace are helpful. But most of the time, when people are sharing things that they are going through or struggling, they have spent way more time thinking about it than you have. And so your first reaction of oh, well, have you tried ice? Or, oh, well, you should you've thought about all that stuff. And it's the voicing it and saying, I am in this place with all this indecision. That is hard. I'm in this place with all these things I can't figure out. I'm in this place with not enough time. I am in this place. And that sharing is, the request of that share is not, help me get out of this place. It's, can you see me in this place? Can you pat me on the head and say, yes, you're right. That is a hard place. So I can stop adding to my own struggle, my own self kind of judgment. And there is a calming when you just hold space, like, oh, I hear that. That sounds rough. Or I have no idea what, like, I can't imagine. I mean, there are a lot of times now when someone will share something with me, and I just write back hug or a heart, like in an online thread, which is like, I don't know. I could say, Chat GPT, write me a message of solace to someone who has just lost someone, and it would write something. I could copy and I paste that. But that's sometimes what we sound like when we are saying what we think we are supposed to say. What's the script that I should say right now in the situation? And the person who is in their, whatever their struggle is, they're not hungry for your words. They're hungry for your love and your acceptance and your presence. And it's tempting, especially if you have a strong masculine, because we like to fix. You're having a problem? Well, then here's what you got to do. That is, especially it's unsolicited. There's that phrase, unsolicited advice is criticism. Because at some level, you're saying, I see you should be doing something different. Now, you can communicate in ways where it's not like that. You can say, are you looking for opportunities to change this? Or are you looking for suggestions? Are you open to a thought I had as you said that? Which is very different than, you need to tell your boss that you're not going to do that anymore. Like, well, now, thanks. Oh, that feels way better. Cool. Like, I didn't know that. So, yes, sometimes less is more. Sometimes, well, less content has more weight because it can hold more. That's a practice. That will be a continued part of my daily advice to myself, or not advice, but intentions. I will hold space, create safe containers, and be a good listener. Sarah, good morning. Good morning, Sarah. Sarah says, so grateful for your program I've been watching in the evenings. It brought much joy in an otherwise difficult time dealing with a month of oral surgery. Grateful for a CAT scan 2 days ago that found a couple blood clots in my lungs. Oh my goodness. Grateful for the amazing doctors and this random CAT scan. I have saved my life. Grateful to friends who have sent healing energy and prayers. Oh, thank goodness. Oh, Sarah. Oh, I'm so glad that this vibe is able to bring you some soothing, some peace, or some feeling of connection and love in sounds like a very challenging time. And so grateful that you, sounds like, found something before it became a big deal. So, thank you that your life is intact and you are saved. Clearly, there's more for you to do on this planet. Thank you for being a part of this love ambassador army out there. And right now, your critically important love ambassador responsibility, the work that you need to do in the world, is self-care, so that you can be grounded, healthy, safe, and able to hold space for others. Right now, let's hold space for you. Let others hold space for you. And thank you for following whatever signs from your body or whatever divine things brought you to get the medical awareness in time. Yay. Gerbot saying that unsolicited advice is criticism, is clip-worthy. Thank you. Noted. Natasha, good morning. Good morning from the sunny Pacific Northwest. Well, that's a rare post for you. I'm so grateful for my neighbors again today. My old neighbor is delivering cedar chips to freshen up my yard with her hauling company, and my current neighbor who are working together with me to spruce up our shared side yard. I am so fortunate to have such a great community for this past decade. That is awesome. You know, one of the things that, like, I, for whatever reason, well, I know the reason, like something about my behavior with certain videos online and reels, and I, in my feed, I get videos of like disputes, neighbors fighting, and people arguing over parking spots and stuff. Something compelling about that. But I've seen quite a few videos recently of these neighbor, like fence between neighbor fights that just get crazy, like so much energy, so much money, so much just like venom spit on each other, and incredible amounts of work to try to make their neighbor's life worse once the feud starts. And it really, you know, makes me appreciate the harmony in amongst my neighbors and the harmony with your neighbors too. It is like the alternative is so bad. Imagine just like sharing borders and or walls with people that are your enemies. Like, oh my God, that would take years off your life. Oof. Good morning, Hope. Good morning. Good morning. Yay, Sarah. You are deputized love ambassador. Good morning, Janet. Janet is grateful for a final push before a big project comes into the world. Awesome, Janet. That reminds me, my friend and co-podcaster, Betsy Finkelhu. You can go to finkelhu.com and see her stuff, but she has this power affirmation journal that is published and available as like a tool for growth. It's really cool. And she just showed me last night the, not the demo, but like the early version of this deck that she's making to go with her power affirmation journal. And it's really beautiful, really nice. And I pulled a abundance money mindset card right after I was talking about this push of mine to buy a new car and set my sails in the direction of more abundance. And it was kind of eerily perfect. In fact, I pulled the card, read it, and was like, that's perfect, and put it back. And then she went through the deck and pulled that one out and said, read this one. I'm like, that's the card I pulled. And it made me think of that because she's in the process of birthing this baby. And it really feels like a labor that she has been going through, as you said. Oh, I said that. You just said final push. I included in my head the metaphor of labor and birth. Gerbot says, yes, I am grateful for good relationships with my neighbors. There's a few things that you know, we grow up thinking that the goals for happiness are big house, fancy car, lots of stuff, status, power. But man, liking the people you work with, good relationship with your neighbors, add those to your list of your manifestation desire. Those things will really affect your quality of life. Natasha says, I have had bad neighbor experiences, which certainly have helped me see how fortunate I am right now. Ain't that always the way? The injury is helping me be so grateful for my body right now. So grateful for the lack of nerve pain today. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So grateful for this day. And with that, wherever you are, let's give ourselves a hug. Give yourself a big squeeze of appreciating this body, appreciating this fellowship, appreciating the little experiences that one another have shared so we can have this magnified awareness of the human experience through one another, celebrating our joys, celebrating that there's so many little stories of victories and joys and growth and love and connection and triumphs and overcome medical things all over the place. And we just need to discipline ourselves to shape our narrative so we don't get caught up in all the negative, not denying that it exists, but shaping our narrative to include all the wonderful. So let's forgive ourselves for when we get off track on our quest for being happy. Let's forgive others and sink in that place of this shared human experience we're all having as we take a deep breath in and squeeze. On behalf of Grandpa Caleb and each of you, thank you for being here for this Love Morning, this Hug Nation gathering of gratitude. I love you. Check out the new lifestudent.com webpage. Resurrected my old personal site. Love any feedback you have on it. And also, I am resurrecting some personal coaching. So if you would like to work with one-on-one with me, reach out. We can have a little get to know you, try it out, a little touch base, and see if it's something that might benefit us both. So enjoy your day. Love you.